You know, what's funny is earlier in my career, I used to worry that maybe I wouldn't be able to find success because I considered myself a bit of a generalist, right? Went to school for engineering. I did hydrology. When I got out of school, I found myself, leaning more towards data. So taught myself how to write, SQL queries. Before you know it, I was an analyst and I was building dashboards and I worked in product development. Then I went into IT leadership, and most recently, I've been focused around marketing and content creation. And probably 10 years ago, I was like, yeah, maybe I should specialize in like one thing, right? Become a really, really good developer. Because my concern was that if I didn't specialize in any one thing, I wouldn't be able to make a significant impact for an organization. Fast forward to 2025, and there are tools that can build apps for you. There is literally apps you can download that will generate photorealistic images that look like they were taken from any number of different cameras. You can even have it look like it was done with a certain film simulation. None of that was on the roadmap when I was thinking about what I wanted to do. Right? So I'm sitting here thinking about making this video. I want to make this video, and I want this video to check all the boxes, do all the things. Maybe I should get ChatGPT to write me a script. Hey, ChatGPT, write me, a script for an intro video. Hey, Claude, write me a script. Manus, write me a script. Based on everything based on my writing style, based on the content I've created historically, write me a script to announce this thing that I'm pretty excited about. And then I was thinking, what am I actually doing? I look back at my career, and there's a single thread that I can pull, and that is solving problems, right? Anywhere I have worked, any position that I've had has always been centered around solving problems. It could have been data, it could be product development, it could be IT leadership, it could be content, it could be marketing. Everything is hinged around solving problems. What is interesting about that is that oftentimes along the way, people will ask, well, how did you do that? And how did you do this? So I would tell them, right? Oh, this is what I think you should do. This is what I did. This is how you could do it. And it's great, but it doesn't scale. And there's nowhere to go back and reference. So then I thought, you know what I should do? I should start a website or a podcast and talk about data. So I did that for a little bit. That was probably 10 years ago. I had a podcast called Data Smarts. Earlier this year, I had a couple episodes. And I thought, okay, well, on this one, I'll talk about data. The problem is that the data stuff kind of overlaps with some other stuff. So then I was like, all right, well, maybe I could do something and also talk about content. So then I went down that path, and I was like, all right, let me start something that talks about just content, right? So people ask me about the podcast setup, this right here, ask me about videos, I want to ask about AI-generated videos, right? That's where I would put all that stuff. And then there's also a lot of work being done in AI and automation. Okay, well, maybe I should do that too. So I'll have some data stuff, some content stuff, some AI stuff. And I was like, well, I also spend a lot of time in the marketing space, so where should I put like the stuff about like events or go to market? Well, maybe I should start that. That's 4 different things. You've got data, right? Think your CRM, your database. You've got your go-to-market strategy, your marketing approach in general. You've got content, right? What do you make? How do you make it? And then you've got AI and automation. And all of those things can interconnect. They can all interconnect to solve business problems. And before, when I was looking at it as 4 individual things. And the problem with 4 individual things is that those things do not exist in isolation. those things need at least one of the others in order for them to be effective. Some of them you need all four. So then I came up with this notion of the 4 pillars of innovation. And when I think about innovation, the role that I've spent at least the last 5 years in, but really probably my entire career, I think about content creation, I think about data, I think about AI automation, and I think about go-to-market, right? How do you get the things that you make out to the right people? So that led me to this project. And this project is called the Innovation Department. And what I'm going to do is take everything that I know how to do from those 4 pillars and put it all in one place. Because really, it is all in the service of innovation. And ultimately, that is what I think businesses are in need of, right? I think that people need to be looking at these 4 pillars within their business, big or small. So I went to ChatGPT and I asked it to create a script, and the script hit all the marks in terms of the hook, and it was punchy, and I think I had some zingers in there. It was great. But then I thought, well, I mean, not everything needs to be, AI based, right? Sometimes you can just turn the camera on and just talk about the thing that you're doing and why it's important to you and how you think it might impact others. So if you are an operator, if you're a CEO, if you are a marketing person, I've talked to any number of different roles out there, and all of them are struggling with something different. They all have different goals. And I feel like I've spent a considerable amount of time figuring out a lot of this. And my goal with the innovation department, most specifically something that I'm calling the Loop, which will be a podcast and a newsletter. I'm just going to start taking the things that I know how to do and documenting in a place that people could reference. So that if somebody wants to know how to market an event, here you go. If you want to know how to connect HubSpot with Asana and Harvest, here you go. If you want to know how I'm using chatbots, here you go. Right? That, to me, makes the most sense. Because any one of those examples or tutorials or how-tos might touch on any of the 4 different pillars of innovation. So with that, excited to announce the innovation department. The website is innovation, DEPT, so department abbreviated, .io. Don't have any podcasts recorded yet, but they will be coming soon. The website is up. You can subscribe to the newsletter. I think at some point in the future, I would really like to probably create a community. I also love the idea of sitting down with business owners or operators and discussing some of their challenges on the podcast. I think that could be a cool way to provide value to the guests on the podcast, but also to help others. And really just go through the things they're struggling with and maybe provide some insight or some ideas on how they might be able to solve their problems, right? How I might be able to take some of my 15, 20 years of experience in these different domains and shortcut what they need to do in order to start helping them grow, right? Helping them grow faster. So this is not ChatGPT script. I didn't use Claude. This is not a video from HeyGen, but we will be talking about how to use all of those tools because there is a time and a place to use all of them. I didn't think it was fitting for this, but we will be discussing how I'm using those tools to achieve other things. So if that sounds like something that's interesting to you, I would encourage you to go check out the website, Innovation Department, DEPT.io. Subscribe to the newsletter. One, make sure that all my automations work, right? Make sure that you get that automated email on the back of the subscription. I will be creating social media profiles on Instagram, TikTok, on LinkedIn, if you want to follow along there. And really start thinking about the things that you're struggling with, because I want to hear what they are, right? I want to hear what they are to see if I might have a quick answer. I might have a tool that I'm using that would solve that problem for you. So you can email me if you have any questions at nate@innovationdept.io. Happy to chat with anyone. If anybody wants to be the first guest on the podcast, also down to do that. I think that'll be a really cool format. So, yeah, with that, here's to the launch of the innovation department. And I'll catch you in the loop.